Well, good afternoon, everybody. Trying to leave enough time for everybody to get in from the parking lot. There's some of the weather out there. It is Tuesday on St. Francis's campus, which means parking near Hutzell is at a premium until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So appreciate everybody coming out today. We are here to celebrate the 2017 NAIA Football National Championship. Kind of nice knowing we were here last year. Allows people like me to kind of have a refresher on how these things are supposed to go. So it's always fun, and I appreciate Coach D giving me that experience last year to build off of. But without further ado, at this point in time, I would like to introduce to you the 2017 NAIA National Champion USF Cougars. And now, if you would please join me in welcoming to the stage the 2017 NAIA National Coach of the Year, Coach Donley. All right, well, again, thank you so much for all of you for being here. We understand that you all have places to go and classes to be at, so we will try to wrap this up pretty quickly. First off, I have a few thanks. Last year, when we went down to Daytona, we were fortunate enough to have our group of supporters come down with us. We were represented strong. This year was no different. The first group that I want to recognize and appreciate their efforts in getting down there is the USF Marching Pride. Ladies and gentlemen, can I please get a round of applause? One of the best marching bands in the entire country. Thank you so much for being down there with us. Nice to have you on our side of the field and everything working out logistically with us this year. But I can't tell you the change in an environment that it adds having your own band behind you. The second group, I don't know if they're here today, but our USF cheerleaders, if any of you are here, going strong once again, managed to go down on their own, make their own travel arrangements, showed up at the banquet, showed up at the game. It means a lot to the team and to the university to have everybody down there supporting us during these things, so thank you so much. Also, for those of you who aren't aware, the University of St. Francis, when we managed to make it into postseasons in football, there is not a large financial gain for us, let's just say that. There's a lot of expenses, and in order to cover some of these expenses, we reach out to people in the community to try to help us out. We had 4 companies step up big time for us this year during the playoffs, and I don't want to go any further without recognizing them. I think some of them are here. The first one, our friends from Old National Bank in the house somewhere. I think Kathy's right over there. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you. Secondly, I know Mr. Doug McKibben is here, Glenbrook Automotive. Brooke, Doug, thank you so much for all you do for the university. Thank you. And I don't know if Tommy could make it, but I know our trainers are here, Parkview Sports Medicine, another great sponsor of ours for the postseason to help get us through. So thank you, Doc, and everybody over at Parkview. And then finally, Keith Bussey Enterprises. Mr. Bussey, I don't think is here. You can give him a round. He'll hear you. He's probably hunting, shooting deer. But without those 4 people, it would not be feasible for us to do these runs and make these championship appearances. So thank you so much for all of that. Next, I would like to introduce one of our dignitaries today, one of the commissioners of Allen County. We've got a couple proclamations to read, so we figured we'd try to get this all done in one day, so that at the county and the city, the same day is recognized as a Cougar Day. So we kind of coordinated this to save everybody some work and save you from having to mark on your calendars all the Cougar Days that we're starting to have thanks to the football and basketball teams and all the other success we've had. So at this time, I'd like to introduce County Commissioner Mr. Bill Brown.
Thanks, Mike. Great to be here today. Hey, I got this hat when this team started their great run towards the national championship. The good news is I've gotten to wear it a lot. I wear it when they win, and I've gotten to wear it a lot. The bad news is you guys keep winning like that, I'm going to have to get a new one soon. But I tell you, what a great day to be here. As cold as it is outside, it's that much warmer inside because of events like this, because of how proud these guys have made the entire Allen County community. What a tremendous day, and thanks so much for letting me be a part of it. I know how hard it is to replicate what you did the year before, because the second time around, you've got a target on your back. Everybody's looking at you, everybody's going after you, and there's no real easy games. These guys have put on quite a show over the last 2 years, and all I can say is we're looking for an encore next year. We are so proud of these guys that we put together if I can get it open here, a proclamation, and I'd like to read it with pride. It says, whereas on December 16, 2017, the #1 ranked University of St. Francis Cougars football team won the 2017 National Association of Intercollegiate Athletic Championship game, defeating second-ranked Reinhardt University of Georgia by a score of 24-13, giving St. Francis its second consecutive NAIA title. And whereas, en route to its back-to-back national championship, the St. Francis football team finished the 2017 season undefeated with a 14-0 record. And it gets better, and contributed to a string of 23 consecutive victories. I was talking with Mike McCaffrey before this, and I think that's probably one of, if not the longest winning streak in the country right now. Whereas the Cougars were led by head coach Kevin Donley, who realized the first undefeated season in his 39-year Hall of Fame coaching career and was named Victory Sports Network's Coach of the Year. And quarterback Nick Ferrer, who was chosen as 2017 NAIA Player of the Year. And whereas the University of St. Francis is an important asset to our community, providing educational and cultural opportunities and providing great economic impact on the region with its employment of 2,200 faculty and staff members and enrollment of 2,300 students. Whereas the St. Francis coaches, players, students, and fans have garnered positive attention for Allen County and all of northeastern Indiana, conducting themselves with dignity, humility, integrity, and great sportsmanship during this entire championship season. Now, therefore, the Board of Commissioners of the County of Allen hereby proclaims January 16th, 2018 as University of St. Francis Cougar back-to-back National Championship Day in Allen County, and encourages our citizens to join us in congratulating the Cougars football team and coaches for another championship season, and wishing them continued success as they go for a three-peat in 2018. Signed, Commissioners Brown, Peters, and Bloom. Thanks so much. Keep up the good work. Thanks for making us proud. God bless you.
Thanks, Justin. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Mr. Peters. So now we're moving on, and we've got kind of a cool part when you go down to Daytona and you turn around. And this year was much less adversarial when I saw him than last year. But it's nice to turn around and you see the mayor of Fort Wayne hanging out on the sidelines. We didn't need him to serve as bouncer this year. We didn't need him to interject and let my fans in this year. So it was probably a much more relaxed experience for Mayor Henry. But at this point in time, I'd like to introduce the Honorable Mayor of Fort Wayne, Mr. Tom Henry.
You're never going to forget that. It was really great to go down to Florida again for the second time. So I want you to keep doing this. It's not very often I get to go down to Florida, so that was really great. It also, I can't think of a better time to say that I'm an alum from the University of St. Francis. So this has been just a tremendous statement for University of St. Francis, obviously for Sister. I do have one problem, though. I'm going to need your help. My wife, she said throughout the football season that I hugged Coach Donley more than I hugged her. So that has presented a little bit of a dilemma at the house. So next year we're going to have a discussion beforehand, Coach. But seriously, I can't thank all of you gentlemen enough for making the city of Fort Wayne so proud of our university. And obviously, personally, it's been tremendous to go around town saying, yes, I am a graduate of the University of St. Francis. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for that. And thank all of you for helping these young men realize their dream. There is nothing like winning a championship. And to be able to do it 2 years in a row and to have all of you standing behind them speaks volumes about you as not only citizens of our city and those who send students to the University of St. Francis, but it speaks volumes about you as individuals who believe in the sports of the University of St. Francis and stand behind as supporters for the entire athletic program. I have a proclamation as well. Unfortunately, Commissioner Peters took most of what I had to say, but if you'll allow me to be a little redundant, whereas on December 16th, 2017, the University of St. Francis Cougars won its second consecutive NAIA National Championship in football by defeating Reinhardt University 24-13. And whereas our football team went back-to-back as championships, something that's only been done 5 times in NAIA history. And whereas Coach Donley is a career leader in wins at NAIA football, and whereas we appreciate how the University of St. Francis football team represents our community with good sportsmanship, teamwork, and respect. So today, I too want to, as mayor of the city of Fort Wayne, want to proclaim January 16th, 2018 as the University of St. Francis Football National Championship Day in the city of Fort Wayne. and to be able to now make this part of our permanent database so that years from now, gentlemen, you, your families, your friends can access our database and find out why today was such an important day in the history of Fort Wayne. Thank you all again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mayor Henry, and thank you for all of your continued support. Next up, the leader of our great university, who got to spend a few extra days down in Daytona this year than she did last year, and hopefully she got to take it all in, take in some sights. It's a fantastic week for our team, for our coaches, and for Sister Elise to be down there. So without further ado, you all know her as the president of the University of St. Francis, Sister Elise Kriss.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Well, now that we're duly proclaimed, thank you very much. I'd also like to welcome everybody here this afternoon, students, faculty, staff, but community leaders, and of course our esteemed football team. So thank you for being here. It's my honor to be here with you. Winning an NAIA National Football Championship is certainly an event accomplished. And it's an accomplishment that is not, even winning one is not accomplished by all that many teams. But to win two, to do back-to-back, is really something to celebrate. So we're here for a very special celebration today. And we've finally moved beyond the word finally. I heard that last year over and over. We finally won. We finally won a national. I didn't hear it at all this year. Now it's second time around, back-to-back, so there's no more finally. We've done it, and we've done it well. So thanks, Coach Donley, and all your assistant coaches, and every member of the USF football team for a job well done. And I think we don't realize how much dedication and effort it takes to achieve what just happened, what we just did. Thanks for bringing the NAIA National Championship back home, to our region, to the university, to the community. And we are grateful and proud of you for the great honor this is for our team and for the university. Thank you very much. The trip to Daytona and the game on December 16th, just a month ago now, kind of wish we had a little of that warmth, even though it wasn't all that warm that day, was a wonderful experience for the team. And since I was there, I know some of the things that they got involved with, and it was not just there to play the game. They became a part of the community. They got integrated. They did service work. So it was a great experience. And we did have a great fan base. I think I heard someone comment, one of the locals, that this is probably the largest crowd they've had for a national playoff. And they've had those there for 5 or 6 years or more. So, I mean, probably Reinhardt was closer being in Georgia, but we had a fan base that was fabulous. People that couldn't come last year decided they were going to be there this year, and they were there. So we had great support. So thanks to everyone, including the band, who did get to play at halftime at the game. Thank you very much for making that effort, too. On a personal side, and I said something like this last year, but this year, I was able to represent the university on national TV. So those of you who watched it, I was proud to be a part of that, the halftime. And I probably was, the word the coach gives me is a little cocky about us and about winning. And I had to be. I mean, I think I was less nervous this year than last year, well, second time around. And I thought, I knew they always tell me, assure me that we'll find a way to get it done. So at halftime, we were ahead, and I was able to talk about the university, about our community and the support that we get from the community, and about what's happening at University of St. Francis. So that was a nice opportunity. And I'd also like to, we've heard already about honors given to team members, and there may be others yet this afternoon, but I would like to congratulate Coach Donley again, and this was mentioned, as for being named again the NAIA Coach of the Year at the American Football Coaches Association meeting just a couple weeks ago in Charlotte, North Carolina. Sorry, couldn't be there this year. I was there last year in Nashville when he received this award. But the point here is that others recognize what our leadership does with USF football, and the words I heard is, we know how to do it right. We have character about it all. We have great leadership, and great examples for the young men that are working with Coach Donley and the other coaches. The cornerstone program of the NAIA is called Champions of Character. And I'd like to comment that it's not just football, but all of Cougar athletics participates in the Champions of Character program. And because of that, the university is again this year a Gold Star Champions of Character institution. That's the highest level for service, for integrity, for all that goes into sports other than the winning side. Our athletes are students first, but they are student leaders, and they are motivated. This takes a lot of hard work and dedication, so we applaud that also today. In our Franciscan values, students and others have heard all of this before. We have 5 Franciscan values, but one of them is to serve one another. And this opportunity to be of service is, I think we just saw our basketball team helping out yesterday on MLK Day, so that's just one example of the many ways our students are service focused. So I'm going to just end with a brief prayer that reflects the Champions of Character values. So if you just take a moment, bow your head, and let's just say a quick prayer. Lord, grant us integrity to know and do what is right, respect in treating others the way we want to be treated, responsibility to embrace opportunities to contribute, sportsmanship to bring our best to all athletic and life competitions, and servant leadership to serve the common good. Amen.
Thank you, Sister Elise. So there's a theme about this year that seems to be replaying itself over and over again. So you go down and you win a back-to-back national championships, and then you find out that your assistant coaches for the second time in a row have been honored by Football Scoop as assistant coaches of the year. So we kind of went back-to-back there. And then the one that happened down in Charlotte was, again, another back-to-back with our great, as the NAIA calls him now, we don't even have to credit it. The NAIA called him the legend at the banquet the night before the game. So, I mean, it's official now. If the NAIA is calling you the legend before they bring you up onto the stage, there's nothing else that needs to be said. I can't even come up with anything better than that, so I won't even try. At this point in time, I'll just introduce you to the back-to-back national championship coach and back-to-back NAIA National Coach of the Year, Kevin Donley.
Thank you, Michael. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. I have been blessed to be involved in a great team sport. There are really no individual awards. We get them slapped on our back, but we know this is about team. These young men are an absolute blessing to be around. Their hard work, their dedication. We live by a code called CPR, character. We constantly build character. We talk about it. It defines who they are, from integrity to being accountable for responsibility to building their leadership, who they are. Plus a process. I had the gentleman ask me about what the next year's team going to look like. Well, come in at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning and we start. You have no idea the sacrifice that these young men have put forward. The hours, the hard work, learning how to deal with distraction, maintaining focus, from personal to academic, you name it, we have it. We have it in life. And when you're 19, 20 years old and you're studying and you're trying to be a student athlete, it's constant. It's ongoing. I couldn't be prouder of a group of young men who've not just done it once, have done it twice. I love you guys. just to ice the cake, they surpassed the greatest all-time record, Notre Dame's 1988 championship team, Lou Holtz. They were 12-0. We're 14-0. We're number one. Sorry, Judge Houck. And then I want to thank our coaches. We had the defensive coordinators a year ago, Eric Wagner and Joey Didier. And this year we had Patrick Donley and Trevor Miller. So would the four of you guys stand up? Quite an honor. The hours and hard work were something else. Coach Josh Miller, Coach Doug Coke, I know Coach Wolf's here, Coach Nolan's here, all you guys stand up. All of you stand up together. The hours of hard work, sweat, tears, they do it. Yeah, I go on and thank everybody. But it's the guys, it's the coaches, it's all of you, who we are, this university. We had the 12th man in Daytona Beach, our parents, our fans, our student body, our band, our cheerleaders. We had the advantage because of all of you. So, this is indeed a team victory, a team championship, and every one of us, everybody here, had a part in that. And we certainly thank each and every one of you. Our president's a factor. She's an intimidator. She was a little cocky down there in Daytona Beach. Of course, I embellish stories a bit, and that's only makes them a little better. But our president was at a luncheon one day and had her championship necklace on from 2016. One of the coach's wives from Reinhardt says to her, "What a beautiful necklace you have." And she said, "Yes, it is. It's the ring from last year's national championship team." She responds, "Well, I hope you don't get another one this year." Sister Elise responds, "Well, I know I will." Got to have a cocky president along to go with everything else. Again, everybody has played a big role in this. I can't thank everybody enough. Thank my wife for tolerating me. I know I'm an absolute maniac at that time of year. I never can turn the motor off. About 4 or 5 hours of sleep is all I get. So I crash and burn from December 17th till mid-January, but it's worth it. You guys are something else. You made history. You're in a unique category that no one can ever take it away from you. But don't get satisfied with this point in your life. Accept the next challenge. Those that you leave, that are living, take what you've learned, take it to the next phase of your life. Because you're winners. Those of you return, see you at 5 a.m.
Thanks, Coach. I will not be there at 5 a.m. tomorrow. Well, I just want to thank everybody again for coming out. We're going to break here in a few minutes, allow some time for some interviews, get your picture taken with the trophy. There's some posters up here if you'd like to please take one before you leave today. But on behalf of the university, on behalf of the athletic department, we always say rising tide lifts all boats. And we always try to see how the success of a program like our football team can carry over into some of our other sports. And I could genuinely tell you that after the last couple years of what this program has done, everybody wants to be there. When I was in Daytona, I had to stand up on the stage at the banquet the night before, and I said, man, I wish this was something every single one of my student athletes could be a part of. Because it's such a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I want it for every single one of them. And unfortunately, it's just not in the cards. There's no team in the country that does that. We're no different there. But what we do is we come home and we celebrate it as a family. We celebrate it with our women's basketball team and our men's basketball teams who were in Daytona, cheering them on from the sidelines. Our track and cross-country programs who are growing exponentially. All of our teams share a little bit in this, and that's because of what Coach Donley does and the way he leads his program and the way he's a part of this. It's not about him. It's not about his guys. It's about we. So at this point in time, I would like to thank you all. Thanks again to everybody for coming, to our band, to our sponsors for being here, Mr. McKibben, Old National Bank, Parkview Sports Medicine, Keith Bussey, to Commissioner Peters, Mayor Henry, Sister Elise, to all of you for being here. You're welcome for getting classes canceled, but they're not canceled at 1. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Appreciate y'all.